avoiding complex litigation and the discovery process. To lay people, that probably doesn't mean a lot, but we're going to talk a little bit about this some more. I wanted to read this quote to everybody and get your reaction. I'm concerned about spending the rest of my career signing checks for fat people who are afraid of some silly lung problem. This is an email that was sent by an employee of American Home Products. You might know them now as Wyeth Pharmaceuticals. And this email was produced in discovery in the FenFen lawsuit that you probably heard of back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Just to start us off with things you shouldn't say in emails. Discovery is a process in a lawsuit, any lawsuit brought by anybody, where you can gather documents and ask questions about things. In general, that's kind of broadly what discovery is. So in a lawsuit, all emails, and this includes instant messages, are subject to discovery. They can be asked for by the other party. Doesn't mean that they will get to be seen by the other party. They still have to be relevant, and they still have to meet some other criteria. But in general, your emails, if you work for a company or if you're a person and you're being sued as a person, your emails can be subject to discovery. You can't always delete them. Deleting emails doesn't always work. You have to, a lot of forensic experts can retrieve emails that have been deleted, and a lot of companies have email retention systems that hang on to emails for a specific period of time or forever. And remember, while we're talking about responsible business communications, this is not just doesn't just apply to businesses. It also applies to your everyday life. So take what I'm saying today and apply it to what you do with social media, what you do with your own personal emails as well. And remember, when you're sending an email on your company server, it's your company's business. You're the face of your company. Sending an email is no different than what you say to a person that you're greeting that comes into your office. A little bit about attorney-client privilege. So some emails, if they're attorney-client privileged, obviously wouldn't be produced in discovery and litigation, or the other side wouldn't be able to see them. But just copying your lawyer, putting a CC up to your lawyer or sending it to your lawyer doesn't necessarily make it attorney-client privileged. A lot of people think that if the lawyer's in the room when there's a meeting, or if you copy the lawyer on the email, that it's automatically privileged, and that's generally not true. What you're doing, what you're saying in your email has to be generally within the realm of seeking advice. So you can't say I can't send an email to my coworker saying, I want to get some strategy together and we really want to beat those guys down the road at their own game, and copy my lawyer, and then no one's going to find out about that. Well, it's not talking about advice, it's talking about business strategy, and that's not protected. But if I was going to ask my lawyer a question, can I do this? That would be something different. I've thrown in a few quotes and things that I found on the internet, and this is something that I thought was really timely when I was researching this project. Dance like no one is watching, email like it may one day be read aloud in a deposition. This was tweeted by the Ohio Bar Association and picked up by the Florida Bar. I thought it was pretty funny, and I've seen it happen in everyday life where actually a coworker of mine, my company was not being sued, but two pharmaceutical companies were suing each other, and some emails had been sent to our director of pharmacy, and he had to spend an entire day being shown emails that he had sent to the pharmaceutical reps. A really long day. This is something that I've talked to my kids about, and while it works with your kids, I think it works with adults too, and it certainly can work in business. If you propose to speak, always ask yourself, is it true? Is it necessary, and is it kind? So if you think of those things before you send an email, it's probably going to be an okay email to send. Similarly, just in general words that you're speaking to somebody else. I thought this was great. We all know Eliot Spitzer, no stranger to scandal. Eliot Spitzer said, never write when you can talk, never talk when you can nod, never put anything in an email. Another one of the pitfalls of emails is a reply all feature and autofill. Either way, reply all or autofill, you can send an email to someone that you didn't intend to send it to in the first place. I've been guilty of this. I send it to someone named Stacy, and the Stacy I'm sending it to doesn't get it, another Stacy gets it. As well as with reply all. I mean, think about it very seriously before using reply all. Does everybody on that email chain need to see it? Is it relevant to everybody? Because I know I probably get a dozen or so emails a day that I don't need to see. It can be embarrassing and it can be costly. A smart lawyer told me while I was researching this project, think about every time you hit the reply all button that 1,000 fluffy kittens are going to die. That might make you stop. Another great idea is to remove the option altogether. I know that Microsoft Outlook has a feature where you can remove the reply all option altogether, so it's not even an option, so you can't mistakenly hit reply all. As I said before, emails are permanent. Many companies have these email retention applications, and many companies have email retention policies where emails have to be retained for a certain period of time. Elliot Spitzer was another one famous for that by starting an email retention policy of only 90 days while he was the governor. Some pitfalls to avoid. Being clear, avoiding ambiguity, don't be too casual or informal, and avoiding profanity and slang terms kind of all go together, because if the reader doesn't clearly understand your email, then it could be construed a different way, because emails are not like talking. You can't hear tone or inflection. Some red flags. Don't put things like, please destroy this email after reading it. And emails aren't private, just like what I'm sure everybody's heard this. If you don't want the whole world to know it, don't put it on the internet. It's going out onto the internet somewhere. Also consider the attachments to your email. The attachments have the same problem, whatever the content of the attachment is.
By attachments, you also mean the email trail behind. If an email's
absolutely
continued on and on and on, you really should scroll down through that to make sure there's nothing in there that your person you're currently emailing to or the group shouldn't see that, then don't include it.
Absolutely, that's a great point.
Clean
If you have an email string that's gone back and forth, and then there's an email trail that someone has to decipher through, there could be something 5 emails ago in the bottom of that email that the next sender or whoever you're forwarding it to shouldn't see. I thought this was a really great graphic, and this is actually taken from a website that's talking about bullying and is targeted to middle schoolers. But think of your words, anything you say, anything you text, type in an email, put on social